My name is Alex. I was 16 when this happened, and I still can't explain what I saw that night. It was summer break. My parents sent me to spend 2 weeks at my uncle's cabin, deep in the woods of Maine. He said it would be good for me. No city noise, no phone, no distractions, just fresh air, books, and long hikes. At first, I didn't mind. The forest was peaceful, and the cabin had this old, comforting smell of wood and smoke. But on the third night, something strange happened. I couldn't sleep, so I went outside to breathe the cool air. The forest stretched out like a black ocean, trees standing tall like giants. That's when I saw him. About 20 feet away, between the trees, stood a boy. Not just any boy. He looked exactly like me. Same messy hair, same black hoodie, same nervous posture. At first, I thought it was my reflection, but there was no mirror, just darkness and trees. I whispered, "Hello?" The boy tilted his head the way I do when I'm confused. Then he smiled. My exact smile. Chills shot through my spine. I turned and ran inside, slamming the cabin door shut. When I peeked out the window, the boy was gone. The next morning, I convinced myself it was just my imagination. Maybe I was tired. Maybe the shadows played tricks on me. But that night, it happened again. I was fetching water from the well near the cabin. I heard footsteps behind me, slow and steady. When I turned, I froze. He was standing at the tree line. Me. Same face, same clothes. Only this time, his hoodie had mud stains, and his hands were darker, almost rotten. I dropped the bucket and ran inside. Uncle Jeff saw my pale face and asked what was wrong. I told him someone was in the woods, but I didn't mention the truth. Who would believe me if I said I saw myself? On the 5th night, curiosity got the better of me. I decided I would face it. Armed with a flashlight, I walked into the woods. The beam cut through the darkness, but every sound, the crack of a branch, the whisper of leaves, made my skin crawl. "Show yourself," I shouted, trying to sound brave, and he did. About 10 feet away, standing perfectly still, was me. His eyes glowed faintly in the dark, reflecting the flashlight. I stepped closer. He did the same. "Who are you?" I asked. He opened his mouth, but when he spoke, it wasn't my voice. It was like 100 voices whispering all at once. "You don't belong here." I stumbled back, heart racing. The doppelganger smiled wider than humanly possible, stretching its mouth in a way that made me feel sick. Then, it ran at me. I turned and sprinted through the forest, the flashlight beam shaking wildly. I could hear footsteps behind me, copying mine perfectly. Every time I tripped, I heard him trip too. Every time I gasped for air, I heard him gasp. It was like running with a shadow that wanted to catch me. I burst out of the trees and back to the cabin, slamming the door and locking it. My uncle, alarmed, came out of his room. "There's something out there!" I yelled. He grabbed his rifle and stepped outside. I begged him not to, but he didn't listen. A few minutes later, he came back, shaking his head. Nothing, just the woods. But I knew better. The next day, I avoided the forest. But inside the cabin, strange things began to happen. I'd look in the bathroom mirror, and for a split second, my reflection wouldn't move with me. It blinked when I didn't. It smiled when I didn't. I smashed the mirror with my fist, but the feeling didn't go away. That night, I woke up to the sound of whispering outside my window. When I looked, I saw dozens of faces in the dark. faces like mine, staring at me from the tree line. I screamed, waking my uncle, but when he came to check, the woods were empty. On my last night at the cabin, I packed my things early. I couldn't wait to leave. But around midnight, I heard knocking on the door. Soft, slow, deliberate. When I opened it just a crack, I froze. It was me, standing there. Only this time, he wasn't smiling. His face was pale, eyes sunken, lips cracked like dry earth. "Let me in," he whispered. "You don't belong here." "I do." I slammed the door shut and backed away. The knocking grew louder, faster, until it turned into pounding. The walls shook. Then, silence. When I dared to peek through the window, the woods were empty again. The next morning, Uncle Jeff drove me back to the city. I didn't tell him the truth. I couldn't. But ever since that trip, I've been afraid of mirrors. Sometimes when I look too long, I see my reflection blink a second too late, or smile when my face is still. And at night, when the world is quiet, I sometimes hear whispers outside my window, voices calling my name. What do you think? Was it really a doppelganger waiting for me in those woods, or just something using my face to get close? I want to hear your wildest theories. Leave them in the comments below. Have you ever had a mirror glitch? A dream where you met yourself, or seen something in the dark that didn't make sense? Tell us where it happened, what time it was, and how it made you feel. If you saw your own face staring back at you in the night, would you run straight away, hide, or try to talk to it? Be honest. The scarier, the better. Drop a timestamp if you think a certain line in the story gave you chills, and tag a friend who loves horror so they can weigh in.